your hair making you lose your mind? I know this. I lost my hair in my 20s. The shame and the low self-esteem and the anxiety took me a really long time to overcome. Unfortunately, this is an issue for so many women and men today. Like me, they're overcome with anxiety about their hair. They don't feel confident at work, on a date, or just even walking through life. I've had the opportunity to work with so many patients dealing with different types of hair loss. I've also noticed the escalation of hair loss vitamins, supplements, and products on the market. It really is an epidemic. There are two key types of hair loss that I want you to learn about today. The first one is alopecia areata. Now that's a mouthful, but that's hair loss that can be best described as round circular patches, which when you take a closer look are shiny with little to no hairs in them. This is an autoimmune pattern of hair loss, one where your immune system is attacking your hair follicles. The second is the hair loss we're seeing with PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome. Here, the hair falls out all over the head, but especially from the crown. Each strand of hair also thins over time, turning into dry, crinkly, paper-like hair and then falling out. That's the type that I had, and this is the type that is becoming more and more prevalent. Both of these types of hair loss are related, since PCOS can be considered an autoimmune disease as well. The good news is, as I continue to work with patients, both types of hair loss respond to balancing the whole body, your nutrition, your gut health, your stress levels, sleep, and overall hormone balance. One of my patients' journey with hair loss is such a great example of this. Let's call her Margaret. Starting when she was a very young girl, her hair would randomly fall out and then grow right back. When she hit adolescence, it started happening all the time. She went through periods of time where she wore a wig and endured the steroid injections to the scalp to make the hair return. But still no one could really figure out why this was happening. She came to me as a young woman, starting her career and getting ready to get married. Her hair loss was evident. She took her wig off to show me, and it was consistent with alopecia areata. Margaret had such a happy and positive spirit. I could tell she was trying to not let the hair loss get the best of her, but she wanted to know why this was happening. After working with her, we figured out that her hair loss was the result of nutritional deficiencies, magnesium and B vitamins in particular, and an overgrowth of yeast in the gut, or candida, and of course, chronic stress. In my practice, I've noticed it's always typically 3 strikes or 3 hits to your system with so many of these conditions, and that's true of hair loss as well. Within about 3 months, her hair came back. We were all thrilled with her results, but at her next visit, as I walked in the door, she pointed to her scalp and she showed me how all her hair had fallen back out. Well, of course, I was concerned, and we sat together to figure out why this might have happened and what could have changed in her routine or her regimen. As we looked at everything together, she finally told me, she said, I took on a really big project at work, and it was something where I just wanted to prove myself and prove my worth to the company. So I stayed up all night, I worked all day, and there were many days where I forgot to eat, I forgot to take my supplements. That's when we both realized that very severe or chronic stress is one of the biggest triggers for her hair loss. What we did next was give her a very simple formula. We already knew the chemistry we needed to fix. We had to work on her ability to manage stress and to balance her life. Acupuncture, yoga, massage, and consistent sleep became my new recommendations. She continued on that journey and on that plan for the next 2 months, and I walked back into the room at my next visit with her, and there she was, and jumps off the exam table, lunges out to give me a hug, and she's like, look at my hair. It's all coming back in. And sure enough, as I looked at her closely, all those patches that I had just seen a couple months ago had started to fill in, and we're starting to see uniformity across her scalp. She was so happy. She was hugging me, and she was so joyful. And then I also understood that over the last few months, she was prepping for a wedding. And because they were so concerned about what her wedding pictures would look like, she had purchased 4 different wigs, trying to find the right one that would help her look good on her wedding day. She was overjoyed because she could now go to her wedding without wearing one of those wigs. And she's like, I can be my true and authentic self. She showed me the pictures. She showed me the pictures with the wig and the pictures without the wig. And you could obviously tell tell that the ones without the wig had such an energy to them and such a joy and enthusiasm to them. We talked some more, and we again tried to really finalize her plan that, moving forward in life. We knew what worked for her, and really her greatest challenge would be, no matter what comes at her, she would have to manage the stress and remember to stay on that same path. Our hair is a big deal, and when we lose it, the psychological and emotional impact is huge. An internal battle almost begins for our spirit, but it doesn't have to be this way. If you or someone you love is suffering from hair loss, urge them to get help from a physician who knows how to put all the pieces together. Starting with managing stress, teaching the body how to weather the ups and downs of life is a key piece of the puzzle. All the medications and lotions and shampoos and products can't be a substitute for balancing our chemistry and keeping us superpowered. I know this was my story as well. And now that you know the root causes of hair loss, we've put together a playlist for you to get the healthiest hair possible. And I'll see you on the next video.